You clicked for action stars and real athlete training. You're in the right place. We're breaking down 10 actors who swapped red carpets for 10-hour training blocks, strict weigh-ins, and coaches who treated them like rookies fighting for a roster spot. Which one admits their social life collapsed, and who kept a breakup secret until after the premiere? Watch to see the exact sacrifices behind those bodies and the role that cost someone their weekends, friends, and sleep. Which breakout star trained so hard their coach banned phones and friends for 8 weeks straight? That rule sounded dramatic until you hear what the days looked like. We're talking alarm at 4:30 a.m., slow mobility while half asleep, then straight into conditioning before sunrise. Breakfast wasn't a vibe, it was macros in a Tupperware, then fight drills blocked into rounds, and recovery stacked like homework, contrast showers, compression boots, and an ice bath that made every toe go numb. The schedule read like a rookie camp board: call times, heart rate zones, and a whiteboard that decided whether you earned carbs or had to settle for greens and protein. Trainers pushed two-a-days like it was non-negotiable. Morning engine work to build capacity, evening skill blocks to make the action look natural. Weigh-ins every other day. Tape measures on waist, arms, thighs, then notes in a shared drive the studio could see. The pressure wasn't subtle. Faster results, leaner lines, sharper jaw. If a scene moved up a week, sleep got cut, not the workload. One coach even attached step goals to the rides between locations. Miss a number, and you added intervals on a curved treadmill after rap. Actor A, pre-breakout and desperate to nail a fight film, apparently ran a 5 a.m. conditioning block that started with prowler pushes and assault bike sprints. Then a mid-morning sparring session with 3 different partners to change pace, followed by drill rounds on defense to fix bad habits. Night didn't end with dinner. Night ended with choreography reviews on an iPad, pausing footwork and repping combos and socks on the living room floor. No alcohol, no late nights, and the phone went into a drawer at 9 because texts spiraled into missed sleep, and missed sleep showed up in the heart rate graphs the next morning. According to performance coaches, the line between overreaching and overtraining gets thin when a studio calendar squeezes everything. Overreaching can help for a few weeks. Push hard, adapt, step back, but the step back often disappeared. That's where form breaks down and soft tissue tweaks start stacking. The fix on paper is periodization and real recovery windows. In practice, when a shirtless scene lands on a Monday, Sunday becomes a sweat session and a salt bath, not a rest day. Actor B went the military route. Weighted vest ruck runs at dawn, weapons drills until reloads felt automatic, and breath hold work with a free dive coach, so underwater beats didn't need 6 takes. The breath sessions got intense. Long exhales to drop heart rate, CO2 tolerance tables, then short bursts to mimic panic and still stay calm for a close-up. It was skill stacking at full speed. Combat basics, fight beats, mobility sessions to keep hips from locking, plus grip work for climbs. The daily workload, counting conditioning and skills, hit hours that sources say looked close to NFL preseason totals, just without the team deload days. Social life didn't just take a backseat. It got left at the curb. Friends stopped texting because every wanna hang turned into gotta train. Family visits kept getting moved, then canceled, because the day's schedule lived and died by consistency. When every pound shows on camera, spontaneity looks like a risk you can't afford. Weekends blurred into prep days, with food prep, foam rolling, and a nap that was more like a non-negotiable meeting. And the isolation question? Actor B admitted to a total social blackout for 6 weeks to hold a strict body fat target. Weekends, as they put it, didn't exist. The grind proved they could handle the workload. Now comes the part that trips people up more than burpees or cold plunges: the rules around food, and how those rules can push bodies and relationships past the edge. Which star fainted on set because their photo-ready diet cut carbs to nearly 0? The story starts with a deadline on the call sheet and a physique target circled in red. That countdown turns meals into math. Every forkful gets weighed, logged, and color-coded. Sodium gets cycled to manage water retention, then water gets manipulated so skin looks tighter on camera. It sounds clinical, but the day-to-day is alarms going off for protein feedings, greens measured by the gram, and a gallon jug marked with timestamps so no sip is spontaneous. Wardrobe fittings become body comps. Lighting tests double as body checks. The calendar runs the kitchen, and then the camera-ready push follows you home. The leaner the promo shots, the stricter the household. According to people close to several productions, partners started tracking the same alarms, watching the macro app, and timing dinners around steps. It's not romantic to excuse yourself mid-pasta because the coach wants 2,000 more steps before bed, but that's how it goes. If a friend suggests dessert, you get the look. Apparently, even birthdays turn into meal prep nights because tomorrow's a shirt-off scene. The leash tightens with every vein. Actor C leaned into a cutting protocol under supervision and still ran into a wall. The plan included controlled diuretics, ultra-low carbs, and low sodium the week of a big wire sequence. They got strapped into a harness, spun through beats at height, and rumors suggest more than one fainting spell hit between takes. Production, sources say, played it down as just lightheaded. Crew knew it was diet week. The safety team added mats and fans. The call sheet didn't budge. Athletes rarely fuel like that outside a weigh-in. Media week dehydration for an action set is different from game prep. A sports nutritionist would point to glycogen depletion as the first red flag. Drop carbs hard, and you drain muscle energy, which tanks power and concentration. Pair that with low sodium and aggressive water cuts, and blood pressure can dip fast. That's how you get on-set dizziness when you stand up in a harness, or tremors when you try to hit clean strikes in a stunt beat. Real athletes load, refuel, and taper. Press photos don't care about taper. Actor D had a different problem and kept it quiet. A rib strain early in training didn't look dramatic on the scan, but breathing hurt and twisting for fight beats felt sharp. They wanted stunt approval, so they hit it. Lidocaine patches went under wardrobe. Ice sleeves hugged the torso between takes, and a brace stayed off camera. According to crew gossip, they'd exhale before impact to brace, then smile for playback and limp to the corner. The risk? Stunt coordinators warn that hiding pain throws off timing. A physical therapist would add that under recovery lets small strains spread. Compensations move to the back or shoulder, and suddenly the whole chain is angry. Meanwhile, home life didn't survive the regimen. Actor E's partner reportedly tracked training hours, therapy sessions, and the never-ending meal prep. Then came the 9 p.m. curfew, foam rolling on date nights, and weekends erased by choreography run-throughs. They left quietly before the press tour, no public statement, no soft launch. Friends say it was to keep the role from getting overshadowed by a messy breakup, and also because the decision had already been made in the 5th week of no dinners out. So here are the payoffs you wanted. Actor C's extreme cut, a near-zero carb, low-sodium push, lined up with those on-set blackouts. Actor E's split traced back to obsessive blocks and non-negotiable bedtimes. Actor D's fine, ribs were not fine. They hid the strain to avoid losing action scenes. These bodies sold tickets, but the cost was nights alone, missed birthdays, and the quiet thought that keeps echoing after rap. Was the role worth the trade? The most athletic transformations looked clean on screen, but apparently the real build was time, relationships, and mental quiet traded away for a 2-hour story. According to people around those sets, the calendars ruled the kitchens, the gyms, and the living rooms, and fans were only shown the highlight reels. If you respect the role, respect the cost. Comment which sacrifice shocked you most and who handled it best. Want the training plans versus safe alternatives breakdown? Drop a plan in the comments for a follow-up. Sources say the smart version still hits the look without blackout diets or hidden injuries, and that's the guide worth sharing.